Today, I'm talking to somebody I've known for a long time, and we'll have plenty to talk about, Mr. Jim Johnson, who's been sort of a staple here in the local theater for a long, long time. So, hello, Jim.
Hello, Ed. How are you? Greetings from Marietta.
Greetings from Ephrata.
Nice to see you.
You know, fine as most people can be. How about yourself?
Yeah, fine as most people can be. I have good days, bad days,
Yeah.
It's a mess.
So we're going to talk. I've known you for a long time. How long have we known each other?
Ed, I was thinking about that. I think, now correct me if I'm wrong, I think we met during Big River at the Fulton, when we were both in the show at the Fulton, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I also remember taking acting classes from you at the Fulton. So I don't know if that was before Big River or after Big River, but I know I have a memory from Big River.
Oh, I remember Big River.
You remember Big River? How did that show ever get up? It did.
That show, oh my God. Not like that show.
It was crazy.
I know you're a fan of the show. I know that. You're a fan.
I am. It's a long show, you know what I mean? But I just think it has great characters. I am a fan. You're not a fan of the show?
No, I'm really not. I maybe it's my memories of doing Pat Finn and that show, which was a combination of Carol Channing and Rufus Wainwright's love child.
Well, you got that. Oh, but it was fun. It was you and Rob Brock and myself.
Yeah, all I remember is none such. And Brett Ball singing Arkansas. Anyway.
Yeah. So I think that's when we met, Ed. I think somewhere around there.
How many years ago?
I don't know. I don't know. 90s, late 90s, I think.
Yeah. So let's go and talk about you now.
Okay.
You have been a staple in this theater. You've done everything. You've worked with theater companies and everywhere from the chapel. Now you have your own theater company, which we're going to get to. But so let's fill in a little for those who don't know you, when you started, when you started to act, when you started to get involved in theater, and just fill us in on the history of Mr. Jim Johnson.
The history. Oh my goodness. Okay. So the history, like a lot of people, I loved acting forever in theater. I was when I was a child, I was a magician and a ventriloquist. I started out doing both of those. I was kind of precocious and just wanted to do theater, perform in front of people. So, I started there, did all the high school things in school that I could do. Back when I was in high school, the governor's school, the Pennsylvania Governor's School for the Arts was a thing. I went there. I went to Penn State, studied theater at Penn State after graduation. My parents hated the fact that I was going to be an actor. Whatever. And so I went there. I worked a few summers during college at the Utah Shakespeare Festival, not as an actor, but as a dancer, a green show dancer. And then we did the small roles in, Henry IV Part 1. I was a spear carrier, and I was a dancer in Romeo and Juliet. What?
As a dancer? I didn't know you started out as a dancer.
Oh yeah, I was tall, Ed. It was in college. I was tall, and I could lift, and partner. And so yeah, I did a lot of dancing when I was young. In fact, I sometimes feel like my core is, I come from a dancer's perspective, a movement perspective. I had some great teachers in college, Gene Sabatine and Betsy Hamilton, who really tuned me into movement. So did that in college. I worked a few, 2 summers at Hershey Park as a country western performer, which was factory work, but it was a great paycheck. and lived in New York for a couple of years, but it really wasn't my thing because I wasn't as competitive as everybody was. You know, I wanted to
No, I
do
hear
it,
that.
you know, but I just didn't have that competitive edge, you know, and it was expensive. I loved living in the city, but they were doing, what were they doing? Oh, Oklahoma at the Fulton. And I needed a way to get out of the city. I needed a reason, whatever. So I auditioned for Oklahoma at the Fulton with Gene Clemson. And that was my way out of the city. You know,
what years were you in the city? Do you remember?
In the city, 80, I'm going to say 83, 84, 85, about 3 years, the early 80s. I lived up on 181st Street. Up in the Heights, and worked on 55th Street at a great restaurant called La Fondue when I was in.
I remember La
Fondue.
Yeah, I didn't leave New York till '86, so we kind of like left at the same time, which I didn't know.
Crazy. That's
yeah,
crazy.
But I remember New York in the '80s. Yeah, I remember La Fondue. Yeah, I remember.
You know what?
That.
I worked at I worked at Hershey Park for. I guess it was the second summer. A bunch of people decided that we're going to go to New York. We're going to, you know, get our break. So luckily, I went up there with 5 friends. We found a big apartment, you know. So I had a little built-in, built-in people, you know, friends and things like that. But it just didn't work out for me, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So, you know, I came back to Lancaster, did a few shows at the Fulton. With Gene Clemson, and then oh my gosh, and then I don't know, you know, it all goes together. I think let's see, I wanted to direct, and I went back to school to get my teaching certificate, you know, so that I could teach, so that I could work and direct high school musicals and high school plays. So I did that. I taught at Penn State Harrisburg, directed plays there. You know, I started thinking, you know what, I'm doing more things as a director than I am as an actor. You know, so I liked being a director. I liked having the control. I thought I had a decent eye. You know, and it was enjoyable. So I just kept moving with all of those things. I came to Ephrata and did 4 or 5 things at Ephrata. I did Scarlet Pimpernel at
Scarlet
Ephrata.
Pimpernel. You did for me. You did Best Little Whorehouse.
Best Little Whorehouse. Yeah, I was the governor.
What?
The governor in Act 2. Yes, you remember that? I had this little voice. I forget who the guy was, but that's the voice that I used for him. But yeah, I did that, and then the what?
I said that.
What were you going to say?
Incredible Peron and Evita.
Oh, I did with Liz. Oh my gosh, yeah, that was fabulous. That was fabulous. And 1776, which is one of the most memorable experiences of my life, because we opened your theater for that show. It was my first experience working with the world-renowned Sean Young, which was fabulous. It was just a great group of people, and it was such a joy, you know, to see your vision at Epac, you know, realized, and to be a part of that. You
now have one of the newest theaters to open their doors in the region.
We do.
Susquehanna Stage at the Marietta Performing Arts Center.
That's it.
Tell us all about that, how that started, when the idea came, and all that.
Well, you know, this area is rural, you know, the Marietta, Mount Joy area. And when I was working around here and directing high school plays, parents would say, oh, why can't we have something like this in the community? I would love to come out and audition and be in a play. You know, all the parents, you know, were starstruck when their kids were in the shows. So that was really the first, you know, inkling, and said to myself, well, maybe we could do this, you know, and I mauled it, and Jackie and I had talked about theaters, you know, for years, you know, driving around and looking at barns.
Tell us about Jackie, because Jackie also also works with you, your wife. She has a
my wife Jackie, fantastic costume designer.
Right.
She is my rock. She is, she sits on my shoulder here and says, "Don't do this, do," all of that kind of stuff. I couldn't be where I am without her. We've been married for 32 years, I think. We've had our good and bad. But you've worked with Jackie. She's
my dad. Yes.
She's terrific.
She costumed 1776.
She did. And a couple of others. I don't know her last name. She
did a beautiful Cat Notch in a Roof for me.
Oh, she did. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
she did. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did a few. Yes. So anyway, 12 years ago, a building down the street from me was open. It was an old gymnasium. They gave me the keys to look at it, and they let me have the keys for about a month, and I would go in there and I would dream, and I would walk around and imagine things. And finally, like most risks, you either step back and say, coulda, woulda, shoulda, or you leap. And I leapt, and I had a friend who was working in Florida. And I called him up, and I had worked with him for many years. And I said, "Jason, I have a building and I have a copy machine. I have about $500. So why don't you think about coming back?" So
it was a very interesting building. What was it? Just a municipal gymnasium?
Yeah. Back when it was built, back in like 1920. The town of Marietta, the school could not afford a gymnasium. Okay. So everybody in town pooled money together to build a municipal gymnasium. So it was a gym for years. It was a roller skating rink for years. Oh my gosh, they did basketball, wrestling, and things like that. So we literally went in there and started, over the years, adding things, changing things. And we were there for 10 years. And 10 years.
Really 10 years, Jim?
Yeah, 10 years.
Wow.
10 years. And then what happened, we knew we needed to grow. We knew we couldn't stay in this building. We were in this building, it's a rental. It wasn't that expensive. The people in Marietta were very good to us, but we knew we wanted our own building. There was the movie theater downtown became an eyesore, and it was owned, and I never thought that we would ever want it because it's a movie theater. It did some old vaudeville things, but so we ended up buying this movie theater for $1,000. Okay, this building. Okay, crazy. But I mean, there's nothing in the building. It was $1,000 and a dream in my heart that we could raise, 4 or 5 million. So we bought that building. We went forward for a little bit, and then this beautiful church downtown, which is right across the street from the movie theater, became available with parking, with beautiful bathrooms, with 2, performance spaces, and our big benefactor, the Ader Foundation, had given us a wonderful sum of money for the movie theater. So I went to them and I said, our dream just got a little bigger. We want to purchase this building across the street because it has parking and all this kind of stuff. And so she said, yeah, whatever you want. She wants our theater to thrive in Marietta. That was one of the things. We can't leave Marietta because she funds things in Marietta.
Right.
So it was with her help and a really great board that went forward and purchased this building. And we finished our season at the community house in our old space. We did our Christmas show, the 1940s radio hour. And then we turned around and went right into our new building with our children's production. Was the very first production in there. And we did our first couple of shows in the small theater until we got the big theater ready. And then last summer, we opened the theater with Evita, which was wonderful. And you remember the whole Evita from last summer. Yeah. Bye. Local theater. Anyway. So, yeah, so that's where we are. So we did last year. We did our season last year, which I'm very proud of. That we went right in there, and you know how it is, Ed. You make things work. Whatever you got.
Yeah, you make it work, babe. Make it work.
I will say this: that if you come and and see the theater, you have to see Jackie's costume area, because she and her ladies have put together one of the finest costume shops. And I'm just, it's just really awesome what she has done. We're still trying to get our props together and the sets and things like that, where we're going to go. But you know what, Jackie, she got her ladies.
On top of that costume shop.
Yeah.
Top of that costume.
Right.
That is her domain, baby.
Right.
You manage the theater and you direct the majority of the productions. Am I correct?
Yes. I pick the season. I'm sure you do the same thing. You read the seasons, you pick it. It's hard for me because I pick every show that I want to direct, and I can't do that. You can't. It's hard to. Right. Exactly. So, but the older I get and the more I let go of things, I'm really loving the idea of bringing some other people in, and let them, do their thing and, watch over them if they need it. And for some people, you just stand back and, let them do their thing, But gosh, Ed, we're lucky in Lancaster because there's so much talent.
Yeah.
Talent, directing talent, beautiful designers and things
like
that.
Yeah, I find, Jim, as I'm getting older too, I like it was funny. It was I liked the acting, and then I liked the direction more than the acting. Now I'm finding I like the producing aspect, bringing it all together, and and working very closely, mentoring young directors and watching and mentoring that. I kind of, and then if I have to go in there and put things together, that's fine. But I like I kind of like that because, as you know as well as I do, managing even a small not-for-profit is crazy. Just managing it is insane.
I had a good January, February, and then boom, March happens, and here we are. And I think, holy
yes.
So what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
Yes, that brings us up to this crazy time.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? What are your contingent plans? You have anything?
Here, we are. I want to keep positive. So we have not cast our summer show. So we've changed the audition procedure for that. We're submitting online videos for auditions. In my heart of hearts, we're going to open that show in July or August. But you know what? I don't know if that's going to happen. And so every conversation that I have with my board and, with you, it'll end up with, I don't know. We don't know. I don't know, Ed. I was watching the news today, and they're talking about these phases, and phase 1, you allow 10 people, phase 2, 50 people. So what do? We take our performances outside. If we put them on video, that's not theater,
No, that's not theater. And no, it's the whole. You might as well go to a different medium.
Yeah, well, it is a different, right? It's a different medium, and I get it, and it's great, but it's not being in the room. It's not watching the actors sweat. It's not. Yeah, it's not the gathering. It's
And as well as I do that an audience is 50% of your show.
It is
50% of your show. The group dynamic, and every audience is different.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And so an audience is 50% of your show. The experience is 50% up to the audience.
Absolutely.
And without an audience, that's why stuff sometimes comes up flat in video.
It does.
Like especially theatrical performances.
Right.
Like we watch performances of stuff we've done in video. And of course, we have that sense memory of what it was like watching it live. Right. But it's a whole other experience.
Oh, but I hate to watch video of a play that that we've done. It just doesn't. It's not great. You know what I mean? It's a nice memory.
It depends on the show. Some shows.
What?
Some shows is like, I'm never watch that again.
Right. File that away. You know, Ed, I wish I knew what we were going to do.
When people do get a chance to go back, Jim, I don't think people are going to want to watch. I think people are going to want to watch stuff that's life affirming.
Yeah.
And fun, either fun or life affirming.
Yes, exactly.
And
if we're gonna chance going out, I don't want anything heavy. Entertain me, you know. I
want something that's going to make me feel good, and so I didn't think now if we can go back that Hedda was appropriate. Not appropriate is not the right word, but I thought maybe put it off to a different time.
I get
I'm doing it because I wanted to direct that show since I was 12 and I didn't even understand it.
Hey, let me say another thing. 3 penny opera. When are you doing it? I'm coming. I'm going to audition whenever you have that.
You promised that last time and you didn't.
What?
Yes.
I'm just saying, I'm looking forward to that someday before I die.
Penny.
I know you love it. I know you love it.
I love it. So we'll see, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for August.
Yeah. I'm hoping for August too, but we don't know. We postponed our kids show was to go up in May, which was Bye Bye Birdie. The show was cast, the materials came in. Of course, we didn't move forward with that. I figure that will probably be canceled. At this point, we just told everyone it's postponed, not knowing anything. But I think that will be definitely one that we will lose. When this whole thing hit and the theaters closed, we were in the middle of doing the last 5 years. So we did one weekend with the one cast, but the second cast who auditioned never had a chance to, do their thing. So I would love to slot that in sometime, 2 people, easy set, things like that. Yeah. So, I mean, that could possibly go later. I don't know. And then we have, I'm looking here, Cabaret and All Is Calm. We're moving forward with those, but we just have to wait and see. And I hope for our sake, for our audiences and actors, that we are safe to go back in August. Or September, What are we going to do if we have no theater?
Look at this.
That's so funny. What's that cat's name?
Sansa, named after
Sansa.
Wait,
hold on a second. I'm going to go get, my cat's name is Samba. Hold on.
Oh, really? Sansa and Samba.
Samba. Here, come here. So this is Samba. He doesn't want to be here, but he looks just like Sansa. That's so funny.
Is it a male or a female?
That's a male. He's a big old fat
well, maybe they can do a duet together. They can be a vaudeville team.
Exactly. He loves to sleep all day. I just ruined his whole activity of the.
Well, that's funny because one thing I've learned being home with them 24/7.
Yeah.
They sleep a hell of a lot.
All day. I know. They wake up. They go to the bathroom. I have to give them some water,
and then they're back to sleep.
I know. I want that life.
Yeah, I know.
Ed, I'll tell you what, we laugh and things like that, but it's a sad situation. And I'm kind of just in mourning for us all. I know that there are so many bigger problems and bigger issues out there, but the fact that we are at that point where, this is the reality is sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm sad for every theater that's going through, every venue.
Yeah, and I just what I miss, I don't know about you, but what I miss necessarily, I don't miss the running around because we work a lot. We're always working, that. But if there's we're always working or thinking or
something, right?
Yeah, even when we go see somebody else's work, we're still working.
Heck yeah.
But so it's good to have a break to reset. It really. But what I miss is the social. I miss creating with a team. I miss going to the rehearsal, seeing the people you're working with, and working as a team to create something. That's what I miss a lot, and that's what I'm anxious about. I want to get back to that. So we'll see. We're all in limbo right now.
We are.
Congratulations on Susquehanna. How do you feel? Like, how is it like from the working actor, working in these places, now having something that's yours? How does it feel? Talk to me about that.
It's a life dream of mine. It really is. It's fulfilling. It's sort of what I've wanted. It's sort of what I'd like to leave when I die. And that's why I got to get these young directors in there. Because there's room for us in the scene. In my area here, I'm close to York. We get people from York and Harrisburg and things like that. I feel like we do great work. I want to have that outlet. I'm proud of the people that come. I remember when I was a teacher and doing the high school shows, and I used to say, God, I want to do Anything Goes with adults. I want to do, a West Side Story with adults, with the proper age. And now to have those people, those people that I remember going out to see, perform at Epac or at Theater of the Seventh Sister, these actors that I just, think are amazing, to actually come to our theater, and then for me to work with them and direct them is just great. It's just wonderful. It's fulfilling. I got goosebumps when I just said that. But, when you think about those people that, oh my gosh, you're trusting me with this, and so yeah.
You just did a very, very extremely well-received production of The Crucible.
Yeah.
You were in. So
I was in. Kevin Ditzler directed that, and Ditzler came in with a vision, and I was so excited to be in the show. And I said, Kevin, you don't have to use me. And I did. I auditioned. I did a monologue and everything like that. I said, but Kevin, if there's another person, better suited, I would rather somebody who's never worked at our theater to come in, rather than for me to do it. So he cast me as Hathorn, and I was just thrilled. I mean, he got some great actors, and it was so well received. And I don't think anybody, as we rehearsed it, I don't think anybody knew that it was going to be as well received as it was. It was one of those things where everything just came together.
Worked.
Worked.
For the audience, it worked.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that was. I remember I tried my best to see it, but I had plans. I wanted to see it so much because it's one of my favorite plays, and I am a Salem. I know everything about Salem.
Oh.
I am a freak.
I wish you had seen it then.
The two things I'm a freak about are specific historical things. Are the Salem witch trials and the Titanic. For some reason, I guess I'm a dark-natured person.
Have you done Titanic? Have you done Titanic at Epac?
No, I was going to do it. Mark's doing it. And I love the score. Oh, my God, I love the score so much.
Right.
But I really want to see Crucible. But what happened was I had my dates to see it. I had it all planned. Our mutual friend, wonderful actor, Gene Ellis, who was in my production of Newsies at the time, got ill, very ill, and had to leave the production. God bless you, Gene, if you're listening.
Yeah, God bless you, Gene. I love you, Gene.
And it was really scary, and he had to leave the show. Right after the curtain came down on a night, I was in there the next night in Gene's part, so I was booked. I couldn't do anything.
Yes. I remember that now. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. How's Gene doing? Gene's good, isn't he?
Gene's good. Barb's good. Gene's good. Yeah, they're good. Everything's cool. So we love you, Gene. So
Gene.
Yeah, but I was sorry I couldn't see that. But Jim, as you know, it's so hard to see our friends work because
it is.
We're working the same hours.
right. And you're doing a show. And then there are some times when it's like, I don't want to go see a play. I don't want to sit in the audience. Right?
I understand that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's my one, I don't want to bust someone's holiday. It is my one night off. I don't have to think about, I don't want to go into a theater.
I don't want to go to the theater. That's very true. We're a lot alike.
I hear you, baby.
Yeah.
So, okay, everybody. Well, thank you, Jim, so much. It was a wonderful
Thank you,
chat.
Ed.
So, before we go, though, how are you holding up for you and Jackie and Asher? Because his son is also a great actor, Asher Johnson, and his daughter-in-law is a great performer, so it runs in the family. And your other son is what? What is your other son?
Dylan, he works in the drug pharmaceutical area. He lives in Philadelphia. He did a lot of theater, just like Asher did. And then he sort of veered off but you know what, Ed? He knows every Sondheim lyric. He knows all the Andrew Lloyd Webber. I've done well with Dylan and Asher, but it cracks me up because he doesn't want to have anything to do with theater, and yet he knows, everything.
So how are you guys holding up? How are you guys?
We're okay. You know what I mean? Jackie is not working. She works in a daycare during the day, and so she is on unemployment and at home. Jackie and I each have big personalities, so we get in each other's hair a lot. You know what I mean? We're okay. We're healthy. Jackie's dad lives alone, and my mother lives alone. So even though we are supposed to self-quarantine and stay here, I have to go see my mom, and Jackie has to go see her dad. So we fill our days with that so that they're not alone, and we take them groceries and things like that. And we're trying to make the best of it. Jackie goes in and works at the theater. She paints a little bit. She's working out in the yard. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to use this time, for other things other than the theater. Jackie says, Jim, you got to do something. Here's the time. So, but I'm frustrated. I get bored like everybody does. I want this over. I'm scared for our future. And it's just a weird time.
Yeah. It is. It's like we've never been through this before.
Never.
It's kind of like you don't know how to react because
I know
what the rules are. You've never been here before.
Right. And so when you say, where are we going in the future? I don't know. I wish I did. We're all just sitting here hoping and waiting for Governor Wolf to, give the go ahead or the, stay behind or whatever that's going to be.
Well, guys, thank you so much, Jim. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. And for those of you who haven't been there, when things go back to the normal or the new normal and we can all do our art again and see art again, please check out Susquehanna Stage at the Marietta Art Center. And I've got to go see the new art center. So
yes, you do. Thank you, Ed. Ed, you're the greatest. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye-bye, everyone.
Love to all.
Love to all. Bye-bye.